Hi there, it's Paula Sturm with Radically Nourished, and today I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about heart coherence and heart math and how it can benefit stress, reducing stress. It can also actually benefit your heart because reducing your stress levels is important for a healthy heart. When we are stressed, we do increase our risk of heart disease along with other factors too, but let's just talk about stress because I think that's really important. And I think a lot of people have issues with stress and how to manage it. And this is a great, quick way in order to manage your stress and relieve your stress. And I think it's really important. So I do teach people heart math in my practice, and I am just finishing up my certification for it. And I do find it incredibly helpful as a tool. And there's a lot of different things I'm going to show you about it today. But first, I just want to show you or talk to you a little bit about its benefits and why it's important and why I pursued it as something that I thought was really important to include in my practice. Because I do see a lot of people who deal with stress and sometimes just uh, dealing with diet changes can be stressful, and managing how to get those meals on the table can be stressful, and eating healthy and all of that stuff that we have to do to take care of ourselves. And it's hard sometimes to just sit down and meditate for 20 minutes. And sometimes we're in the middle of things and we're super stressed, or we're driving and we're super stressed. And we want to figure out ways in order to manage that stress in those situations, even when we're on a stressful phone call. So I think this is a great way in order to do it. And there's a lot of different techniques, and I'm not going to talk about all of them today, but I do want to talk about the main one. So let's just talk a little bit about what it is, like what is heart math, and people are a little confused about what it is, but it's basically measuring heart rate variability. So it's measuring the communication between your heart and your brain, and there is a bidirectional communication there. So your heart does speak to your brain, and your brain speaks to your heart. And sometimes we feel those instant emotions or that instant sense of fear or something like that right away. We feel that in our heart first, and then it gives us the information to our brain, and then we start thinking about it. And so oftentimes our heart's the first thing that notices what's going on. And our heart measures out way out past us and around us, like this energetic field it creates goes all around us. And that's why when we go into a room, we can sometimes feel other people's energy. And sometimes it's hard for us to protect our own energy. And sometimes our energy impacts everybody else in the room. So this is a great way to help you control your energy and not take on other people's energy and be in your own space. And the measuring tools with heart math are super simple, and they're great tools to help you measure where you're at. And it also helps you see how you're improving as well. So I love them. So I'm going to go over them a little bit, but let's just talk a little bit more on the whole two-way communication and why that's important. Those different heart signals and brain signals that are going off within our body. So getting into that heart coherence, which is what we really want to be in, really does help with not only lowering your stress, but also increasing your attention, increasing perception, increasing your memory capacity and problem solving. So if you're ever having to work on a big project, you want to get in heart coherence, and you want to have that really good, calm state to have your body in, to really increase that creativity and your ability to remember things and problem solve. So even if you have to take an important test, you want to do this as well. And it only takes like 3 to 5 minutes. You can certainly do it longer, but it really only takes that much time in order to do it. Do you see my little guy leaving? Bye, Carl. Anyway, can't delete it. Not going to delete it. So let's continue on. Hey, life at home. Um, anyway, so let's just talk a little bit about some of the tools that you can use, but let's first talk about heart coherence, because I think that's super important, and I have little graphics, so I'm going to put them up on my screen. So let's just talk about what an unfavorable heart coherence looks like when somebody's a little bit stressed or a lot stressed, and what some people are in a lot. Like most of the day, we're in this incoherent state, and what it looks like to be in coherence when our heart rate variability is more even and a little less erratic. So I have this little uh, thing here. I just want to make sure that you can see it. So you can see this state here is a heart rate variability that's less coherent. So that's where we don't want to be. We don't want our heart rate variability to look up and down, ragged, kind of like angry mountains, actually. We want to be more in this wave that kind of goes up and down rhythmically. And this is looking at your pulse, it's looking at your EKG sort of things within your heart as well. And so there's different emotions that are associated with this positive heart rate coherent or heart coherence. Positive emotions, appreciation, love, and care. When we're feeling more irritation, anxiety, worry, we're going to be much more over here. So that's what we're going to really focus on when we're doing our technique, is focusing in on those positive emotions. And even if we're not feeling them right now, we want to find a way in order to generate those feelings, because we all have had them. We all have experience with them. We all have experience with feeling love or feeling appreciated or knowing what the desire to feel those things feels like. So we want to just generate those feelings along with incorporating that nice rhythmic breathing pattern that we're going to talk about. And the feelings are really important to generate. So sometimes when we're meditating, we're just breathing slowly, and that's great. That does help a ton. And that is part of the process here. But what makes heart math even more powerful is that we are encouraging our neurology to take that positive feeling of love or appreciation and really cementing it into our neurology, into our heart, into our brain. And we're really making sure that we're feeling and associating that emotion with something really positive. So then the more we do it, the more our body gets used to it and can start really getting into that state relatively quickly. And over time, you can almost just think of that positive emotion and automatically bring yourself into that heart rate coherence. So I wanted to show what it looks like when it's what we're looking for, what we're trying to gear away from. And then also just to show you that when you're in a more of a heart coherent state or not, there's a couple different things here. Hopefully you can see. So when we're in a positive, really nice, coherent state, our body's producing more DHEA, and that's a really positive hormone produced by your adrenal glands that helps with muscle mass. It helps with your energy. It's really renewing. And so we want to be more there, feeling more of those love, positive emotions there. And then when we're more on this side of the scale, when we're worried, irritated, we're producing much more cortisol. We need cortisol in order to be healthy, of course, but we don't want to have too much for too long. We just sort of want to have a nice steady state. And so frustration, resentment, those sorts of emotions really lead to that. So I just wanted to show you that as well. All right. And so now I want to show you some of the tools. So what I have in my practice, and if I'm doing things in person, I can do this actually on a client. And I want to share my screen just to sort of show you what it looks like. But it's this little monitor here. I have it connected to my computer. It's called the M-Wave. Let me see if I can share my screen if I have it pulled up. Yeah. Okay. All right, so sharing my screen, hopefully it's recording that screen and everything. So I was doing one already. I was in 100% coherence when I started this little video here. So let's see what I'm at now. All right, so what it's doing, it's calibrating first, but this little piece that I have connected to my ear is measuring my heart rate variability. So we'll look at my pulse. This is my pulse being measured here, up and down, up and down. Current pulse is at 87. It was earlier at 66, but I'm talking and I'm doing a lot of thinking right now. So my heart rate's going to be a little higher. Up here, my heart rate variability is going to be measured. And then down here is where, oh, I'm in 100% coherence. Wow. what am I doing? Well, I had this set on low. So I don't have a high bar to reach. So you can challenge yourself more and more to get more and more calm, more and more incoherence. And here's where I'm starting to get a little incoherent. And it's because I'm not really focusing in on calming my mind or centering my mind. I'm talking and trying to conduct a video here. But you're seeing how my heart rate variability is being measured. And, this is not that stressful, but a little bit. So I'm starting to see a little bit of coming out of coherence here, not as high of the good coherence here. Would be low. This would be if you're really angry or really irritated, you would start seeing a lot of this red start to show up. So just wanted to give you a little preview of what that looks like. And then you can over time look at there's different games, there's different breathing things, because you'll want to do these breathings, and I'll show you some of the techniques that you're going to want to do while you're doing this. But over time, you can see, like, what does this look like? How much green did I have here in February? Or yeah, that was today. How much green did I have in May? I haven't been really good about doing this, to be honest, but I do have an app on my phone too. So I like that one a little bit more because it's more portable. But in June, I was really coherent when I did it. Earlier today, I was super coherent. So it's super neat. I'm going to stop my share. So that's that one. This one's more clinical and what you would have in office. So that's why I have that one. But what's really cool is you can get your own on heartmath.com or heartmath.org. They have a ton of books. This has been around forever. They study this stuff. This isn't some hocus pocus. This is real stuff. And Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, they all talk about it. I mean, it's amazing and it works, and it's a super, super cool. And so they have tons of information on their websites and lots of books and lots of resources for you to get more information. But they have an app, and you can actually meditate all together. They have a global coherence app where you can all sort of create a global coherence, which I think would be really important right now to get us in a little more coherent state. But they also have an app called Inner Balance, and they have a little monitors that you can attach to your phone. And these honestly aren't that expensive. These are great tools to have at home to help monitor your stress. And so this one I have here, it connects Bluetooth to my phone. I similarly connect this to my earlobe. And then I just go on the Inner Balance app, and you can see I already have a session logged in here, what my heart coherence looks like. And then you can go on here, you can rate what your mood is. You go to a session and then you press play. And what's cool is you're going to breathe to this thing going in and out. So as it comes in, you're inhaling or exhaling. When it comes out, you're inhaling. So really it's like 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, and you just repeatedly do that. And it's going to measure your heart rate variability right up here. It's going to give you some little prompts like what you can do. You can swipe through here, have a nice pretty thing to look at if you want to look at that versus the breathe in, breathe out. And then you'll see your progress here, and it'll keep track of it. And you can keep journals. You can just log those things and keep track of how you're doing. I gotta stop this. All right. So let's talk about how you can do this. So this is one of the easiest techniques that you can do. There's other things that you can incorporate in it, but none of them really take that much time. So what you can do is, if you are in a stressful situation, if you can catch yourself, and that's the most important, if you're, can catch yourself and want to get out of the emotion that you're experiencing right now, you can just stop and take 5 seconds of a deep breath in, through your nose, and then you'll exhale either through your nose or through your mouth for 5 whole seconds. So in for 5 seconds, out for 5 seconds, in for 5 seconds, out for 5 seconds. And while you're doing that, you simultaneously want to think about something really positive. So either a place that you've been where you felt super tranquil, and really want to incorporate that feeling of how you felt when you were on the beach or wherever you were at in the mountains, and you felt super good, and you weren't stressed, you just were happy. So you want to incorporate that feeling, how you felt. You want to incorporate love, either if you have a pet or a child or somebody that you just love and adore. You want to bring that feeling into your chest. So you really want to focus in on your heart. And that's what's the important thing. So we're getting our heart to communicate with our brain. We're going to hijack our heart to take over our brain, because our brain sometimes doesn't stop. We got monkey mind going on and we can't control that thing. All right. So we got to use other tools to control that thing, because controlling your thoughts isn't always an option. So we can control our emotions and how we feel. So we're going to go there instead. And that is going to be what controls our brain. So we're going to feel those positive emotions and bring those in, even if it's not happening right now. If you're kind of in a, you know, sticky situation and you don't want to be in it, but you need to calm down, bring in that positive emotion, because because honestly, our brain's not that smart, isn't going to know whether that positive situation is happening right now or when. It just, if you're feeling it, it's thinking it's happening right now. So we want your brain to think that that positive emotion is happening right now, and it'll believe it. If you feel it, your brain is going to believe it. And so the more we can do that, the more calm our brain is going to be, the less stress hormones we're going to have flooding through our body. It's going to be super important. So you really want to bring that positive feeling into your heart. You want to breathe into your heart. You want to exhale through your heart. You want to bring that positive feeling into your heart. And the more advanced you get, the more you can just radiate that feeling out through the rest of your body, and the more powerful that is. But just doing that breathing technique and that positive feeling work there, and doing that for 3 to 5 minutes or even 30 seconds, anything to kind of take the edge off of that response that you're having initially. Because sometimes we can get really agitated really quickly, and we really need to calm our bodies down. So this is a great way to do that. So if you're a person who just is a constant worrier, a big stressor, and you really need some tools in your toolbox to help you manage that, and you don't have 20 minutes every morning to meditate, do this. Reach out to me if you have any more questions. You can find me at my website, which is radicallynourished.com. And you can also join my Facebook group, Meal Planning for Hormone Balance. This is already going to be up there for everybody to see there. But if you're watching this anywhere else, you can join my Facebook group. I'd love to have you in there. I am also on Instagram and Facebook at Radically Nourished. So I hope you found this helpful. All right, take care.